So I'm doing a quick video just on a 5-year review on my Indian Roadmaster. I'm just quickly going to go through the process of cleaning it, because I started to do the video and I did notice it was a little bit dirty because I took it out the other day. Now I do this cleaning process at least once or twice a week, and especially after a long ride. If I've gone on a long ride and the conditions aren't great, if it's been raining, then I'll just give it a quick blast wash off and then a quick dry off with a cloth. But obviously if it's really dirty, I'll go through the process I'm going through now. So as you can see, this is where I store the motorcycle. I got a metal roof construction to keep the rain off, and I also got a bike cover that goes on it, so it backs right in there tight and the elements can't get it. And then I've got the hose right by the side of it. So yeah, just a two minute exercise when I come back from a ride to get it washed off. And then what I tend to use, I've been using for a long time, is the Muck Off motorcycle cleaner. I do wet it down a bit because I found it's good product and I want it to last a little bit longer, but I do spray it on, as you'll see in a minute. So I use the motorcycle cleaner over the complete motorcycle. I then will use a product disc brake cleaner, and then once it's dry, there's certain parts around the forks and the bars, etc., and parts of the engine which I may, dependent on time of year, coat with the anti-corrosion barrier. I do tend to do under the bars in there because it's not an easy place to get to, and unfortunately the quality of the chrome on these isn't the best. So if you do use it all year round like me, yeah, they do need a bit of attention. If you do get a bit of surface rust, a bit of silver foil and a bit of that spray normally clears it right off. But yeah, I will continue doing the cleaning process. So I also have a jet wash, but I don't use it on the bike because in the manual it does state that if you use a jet wash, the water will get into your bearings and muck your bearings up. So yeah, under advice from my local dealership, I purchased one of these, and it's called a lance that just slots straight onto your hose and creates that little bit more pressure, but not as powerful as a jet wash. Right, I just used dry cloth then to give it get all the majority of the excess water off. Sitting out here where you can see it's non-dried off. There's sections that will literally dry in front of your eyes. But yeah, originally I did have a matte black paint cleaner, or matte paint cleaner, but I didn't find many advantages of it. Right, I'm going to move it back slightly. Normally I just roll it back, but while I'm sat on it, I'll go through the starting process. It's wearing a bit. The buttons used to be black, completely black, with a start button logo on there, but yeah, I need to sort that out and get that repainted. So you just press the button. It's keyless ignition, so the key's just sitting in my pocket. As I go through, I will give you a few tips I've learned, so it's worth watching to the end. One thing I have been told is don't put your keys in that top locker, because it does affect the battery. Apparently it's too close to the control panel and it will cause you issues. So I always wait for the screen to come to the main section. As you saw, I had it on the music. Then this, it clearly shows the sat nav, then the miles per hour and the mileage range. I've got it tipped to the side, so it's actually reading that there's no fuel. When I upright it, it will add 10 to 15 miles on, and I'm only about 4 miles from the petrol station where I live. You then just simply press the start button. Right, I will drop in a little video I took the other day after I cleaned it. You'll see I've got a lot of smoke coming up on the side here. If I walk round, so these are exhaust guards. They used to come all the way up there. There was another 3 pieces like that on the side here. I've had them exhaust strapped. I prefer the look for one, and the other reason was when they were fitted with the incorrect Jubilee clip, so they were not stainless steel, so they rotted out, and they rotted out on the unit. So rather than spending all the money on getting new, they were charcoal grey and they've started to lose the colour a little bit. So it was just like a test set I had put on there. So yeah, I'm going to get them changed for a slightly darker charcoal grey. You probably notice I've got the crash bars missing at the minute. and they've been sent off for powder coating to a dark charcoal grey. I mean, the reason is this is a Indian Roadmaster Dark Horse. Now all the Dark Horses that come out now will have everything blacked out, and that's originally what I wanted, but it came with a chrome exhaust, chrome mufflers, so I had to have, at a cost to me, the black mufflers put on and the black exhaust guards, and then also it's got the chrome front forks. So yes, so sort of started a bit of the review. The bike as itself, what we were looking for, we were looking for a touring bike. I already owned a Scout at the time, just before I bought this. Wife came on that once, didn't like it, wasn't big enough. So yeah, we then invested in this machine. I had the paintwork done on it, so it was taken off the road about 2 months after I bought it, and I had the tank done, the side boxes and the back mudguard. So yeah, one of the things I love about this bike is the options to be able to change the look of it, and that is one thing that always drew me to Indian in the first place, because you could make the bikes your own. The styling of them, it was completely unique to Harley Davidson. So my Scout, I did the same. I'll drop a little picture of that in. Originally it was green and cream, and it ended up as 12 shades of orange. So yeah, I tend to put my own stamp on the bikes. But again, I'll drop a couple of pictures in. The bike without a backrest, the bike with the sissy bar, and this has got the full rear box or rear trunk on. So yeah, the engine, it's a Thunderstroke 116 air cooled. It's a 1900 or 1901 cc 116 cubic inch, and it's got a torque of 126 foot-pound. So it's a standard 6-speed manual transmission, obviously 6 gears, 1 down 5 up. It's belt driven. Now for a bike of this size, it has a relatively low ground clearance of 5.1 inches. So yeah, it is quite low to the ground, but then all the weight of the bike, the main weight of the bike, is lower to the ground as well. So it handles very, very well. It does handle superbly. I mean, I could like maneuver it just as well as I could my Scout, which is a lot lighter motorcycle. I mean, the dry weight of this is around 870 pounds, which is around 390 kilos. The fuel tank takes 5.5 gallons, and that gives you a range of around 240 miles, dependent on how much you pull on the old throttle. So as I was saying, as a bike to ride, very responsive, very comfortable. With the confusion on the chrome exhaust, we got upgraded with a heated seat. Beautiful, comfortable seat. It was great when it was working, but the heated side of it failed after a year's ownership. You could just about operate it while you're riding. There's a couple of switches there. I haven't actually dived too deep into the ride command. I've tried to use it before. You can go online, set routes, etc. I tried it once, it didn't communicate with the bike. They tried to get Apple CarPlay to work on it, but you had to have a separate unit, headphone unit, which gave you the Bluetooth capacity to use it on the bike. But when you were going along, it tended to drop out, lose signal quite a lot. So I reverted back to the system that it comes with. I had the update, and to be honest, when you press in, you can put in postcodes now, which when I first had it you couldn't do. But yeah, I find the actual maps now not too bad. You then got the music system. I've had the front upgraded to power band, and as you can see, I did a little bit of DIY. These all used to be chrome. I sprayed them up black, but I didn't prime them, so the colours coming off. So I'll be taking those off again once I've got the crash bars back, and I'll match them with the dark grey. So the bars will end up dark grey. Those will all basically the chrome features on the motorcycle will end up that charcoal grey, including the front forks. So I touched on it earlier, you got the fuel range. That is one thing I've struggled with since I've had the bike. It's a bit hit and miss as to what it will read. Sometimes you can fill it up right up to the top and it will read 180 odd miles range. Other times you can fill it up exactly the same way and you'll end up with 250 miles range. I'm told the computer works out the style you're riding, etc., and then it adjusts the range to that, but a lot of it doesn't make sense sometimes, and I ended up with a major problem with the brakes on the bike, and I was losing around 60 miles of tank, and with the issue I have with it reading accurately really confused us. And if we were on a long ride, it nearly caused us to run out of fuel a couple of times. You'll see it has on here, it tells you when the side stands down, and over here it will tell you what gear you're in and the total mileage you got. The ABS light, that will stay on until you've done about 200 yards or so, and once you start going away, then that goes out as well. If it doesn't, then you've got a problem, but I won't go into that one now. And then you can pull on the screen there, which then gives you the different ride modes. You've got a touring mode, a standard mode, and a sport mode. So I tend to always ride it in standard. It's took itself up. Touring mode is more of when we're two up riding, which then gives you a more gentle acceleration, etc., so it keeps the passenger comfortable on the back. Then sport, it changes the bike into a completely different beast. So one of the issues, or one of the secrets, I class as a secret because I never knew about it before. One of the things I learned the other week, I was watching a video on a guy who's got a dealership in Texas, and he was talking about the side bags and the closing mechanism. And I've always struggled getting them closing properly, and had to slam them, and sort of got a little bit worried about the quality of the latch. But it's designed as a 2-latch system, so you drop it in, it locks, and you think it's not gone in properly, and you push it down as a secondary lock. It helps seal the water seal around the lid. We never knew that, so we were like slamming it and trying to go. It doesn't matter how much you slam, as you can hear that it clicked again, you have to have a secondary clip. We even took the bike in a couple of times with the back box. And the back box is big enough. I haven't got the details on the actual size of it, but it quite easily get 2 helmets in the back there. It's quite a size. You've got another plug-in there, so if you need to pump your tyres up, I've got a little air compressor in the bike that plugs into that to pump tyres up, and there's also another socket under the right hand side bag. So yeah, so when you shut it, you have to give it a secondary push, So I even looked at adjusting it myself, and there's no adjustment. That is what it is. A little bit unfortunate that dealer didn't let me know that after the 3 times I took it in, but there you go. So changes, as I said, I've got the crash bars and all the charcoals, all the chromes go end up charcoal. I had a new war bonnet fitted because I wanted lighting up, so you had to get the bigger one, plus the previous one was chrome, so I needed a black one on it. I did have some rust marks starting where something hit the front, so I got some paint, sprayed it up. It's not exact match, but I was quite happy with the look of it. And what made me laugh, it was the same paint I had damage to the side of here, some scratches, and I got them, filled them in, sprayed them up, and it does, if you look closely, have a slightly different colour, but you can't notice it, so I was happy with that. And I also had one of the side boxes which had a bit of damage on the side, so I did the same, sprayed that up, repaired it and sprayed it up, and I think it looks fine. And I did the other side to match. So all in all, I don't think there's another motorcycle on the market 2 up that will do what this does. To get the amount of luggage and everything in the 3 boxes is sufficient for us for a week or 2 away. You can get a luggage rack for the rear. When we've gone to America, we always have a luggage rack, so we put our waterproofs on that. But in general, I find that enough carrying capacity for our needs, and the bike is more than capable of carrying that weight and the 2 of us and at comfortable speeds. It's manoeuvrable. I love the bike, and I know it's not a massive amount of movement, but that windscreen, having that control when you're on the bike on a hot day or a rainy day, you can then put extra wind in your face or take that off, depending if you need more air to cool you down, or you need to be able to clear the windscreen, clear the water off your helmet. It's very useful, and I love that feature. Cruise control on the side, very easy to operate while you're going along, and I tend to, on most motorway riding and dual carriageway riding, because the amount of speed cameras around at the minute, I tend to keep cruise control on. So the other thing I had fitted to the bike was the inner dash cam cameras. So I've got front facing and rear facing. Unfortunately at the moment, after a battery change and a change in phone, I haven't quite got it working yet, but I tend to always have my GoPro and my 360 on the bike anyway. But yeah, sum it up, beautiful bike, love it, wouldn't change it for the world. And I know a lot of people are going to turn off at this point. The thing I struggle with is the manufacturer. They have not got a very good system in place for customer relations. I mean, they got a beautiful product. I think it's far superior to Harley Davidson. They don't have enough dealers. They won't support independent service dealers, which I think is a major problem for them. They've got Polaris Power Sports dealerships all over the UK. At the moment, I think we got 14 Indian dealers, if that, and there's 66 Power Sport dealers. There's no representation in Wales. There's a small representation now in Scotland of the first service only dealer. So hopefully, with them opening up this service dealer in Scotland over the last couple of weeks, they will start to roll that out in a bigger way. So we've, as customers, as riders, have got more coverage for our issues that we're having. I'm quite lucky that I've now got a local company, Checkered Flag, who look after my bikes, and I suppose in the 3-4 months I've been using them, no issues at all. Prior to that, every month I was having the engine management light on, but that's a different story. So yeah, my Indian Roadmaster Dark Horse, love the bike, and I've done 39,000 miles on it. It's 5 years old, but I was off the road for 18 months because I had seizures, so I wasn't well for a while, and also there was an issue with the engine casing, and they had to replace that, and that took it off the road for 3 months. And then I think it was about 4 weeks off the road to have the tins sent away for customizing. So all in all, it's probably only been on the road 3.5 years, and I've managed to do 39,000. Indian Roadmaster Dark Horse. Love it. Polaris, not so much.